So when we talk about forward engineering and reverse engineering, we say that when we have a model, to generate that model in the database, we do forward engineering. So if you have the database, if you want to create a corresponding model, we call it as reverse engineering. So I'm going to show you reverse engineering. Forward engineering, we will keep on doing each time when we develop a model, we might do forward engineering. One important thing while doing forward engineering is you have a model, it has a lot of objects. So for the current session of forward engineering, if you want to control what to generate, whether you want to include a certain type of objects or whether you want to exclude them, during this process, you can control. For that, we have these forward engineering options that we had just discussed. Okay, here when we do forward engineering, these options here, what we control. These are all different options which will help you to control in this particular action. So we are performing this activity of forward engineering. During this activity, you can specify what to generate or what not to generate. And then there is something called reverse engineering. We build a model from a database. So let's do reverse engineering now. So I will close this model because we don't need this model anymore. I want to build a model from this database. So I can choose any of them. I will choose online store model, which has more entities in this. It has 25 tables. This evaluation version of ERWIN supports 25 tables. So that's why I restricted to 25 tables. So what I want to do is I want to create a model for this particular database. I have no idea how all these objects are related. So to bring this database to model, it is very easy. You can click on this reverse engineer from script or database option. Same option you can find here as well. Go to actions, reverse engineer. When you reverse engineer, you have to specify from which database. So I'll say from SQL Server 2014. It's a new model dialog. So you're going to create a new model of this type, this logical physical, and this is the target server, and click next. Since you said that I want to create an SQL Server model by reverse engineering, it will ask you to connect to SQL Server. Before that, it is asking you to select what all object types you want to bring from database. Let's go for the default selections here and click next. So here one important thing is it is going to connect to database. If you have a DDL file, you can just choose script file and select a DDL file. It will not ask for database connectivity. If it is simple one, it will get through. A DDL script file can be parsed and a model can be generated. But if it has some complex expressions in that, most of the time ERWIN will fail to parse it. Okay, let's connect to a database. Click on database, press next. We are not changing anything else. Now it is time to connect to the database. So provide the credentials and specify which database you want to bring. It is online store. So specify the database name clearly. Click on connect. Okay, so we have that model created here. So what ERWIN does is it will go to this database and it will get all the meta information about all these tables. When we create a table in a database, actually a database will populate the catalog tables. There is something called a catalog table in SQL Server, or in another way it is system tables. In that table, it will enter the information. What is the table name, and there will be another table for columns, and then data types. Everything is stored in some other system tables. So when ERWIN connect to this database, it will read the system tables and bring all the objects from the database. And by getting all the information, ERWIN will create corresponding objects in the model. So that is what reverse engineering does. Okay, so this is the model, and you can lay out accordingly. So if I use this tool, I can do a layout. This is for setting the corresponding zoom settings. If I click on this, it will show it on the viewport. So there is one separate entity and then two clusters of entities are there. I can just organize it properly, whichever way I want. Let's say I will go for this